Most people are stuck. Not because they're incapable. Not because they're unlucky. But because they're waiting. Waiting for a spark. Waiting for a sign. Waiting for motivation. And that's why they never move. Because motivation isn't loyal. It comes and goes as it pleases. One day you're fired up, the next day you're dead inside. You can't build greatness on something that unstable. That's why the average man lives his life on pause. He says, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll work on my goals when I feel motivated. But that day never comes. Here's the truth no one told you. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait for the fire. You strike the match yourself. Think about it. The days you didn't feel like going to the gym, but you went anyway. What happened? Halfway through, your blood was pumping, your energy was rising. You finished stronger than you started. Motivation didn't get you there. Action did. Or the times you sat down to work on a project you were dreading. You had no ideas, no spark. But once you typed the first sentence, once you got into motion, the ideas started flowing. Momentum carried you. Action lit the fire. This is the secret every high performer understands. You don't wait to feel ready. You move first, and then your feelings catch up. Motivation is like the weather. One moment sunny, the next moment stormy. Would you plan your entire life on the weather? Of course not. So why do you plan your goals based on how motivated you feel? You'll waste years waiting for a perfect day that never comes. But the man who acts regardless, he wins. Because here's what happens when you act. Action creates progress. Progress creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. It's a loop, a powerful cycle. But it starts with movement. It starts with doing. That's why you can't underestimate the first step. The first step is everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be forward. Do 10 push-ups. Write one sentence. Make one phone call. Small steps destroy laziness. Because they shatter the lie in your head that says, I can't. And once you prove yourself wrong, you unlock momentum. You start moving. And that movement changes everything. Most men don't fail because they tried and lost. They fail because they never started. They were too busy waiting for the spark. But here's the truth, sparks don't create fire. Friction does. Movement does. Action does. You don't need motivation to act. You need action to feel motivated. Look at Thomas Edison. Do you think he felt motivated every time he failed an experiment? He failed thousands of times trying to invent the light bulb. But he didn't wait to feel inspired. He acted. He experimented. He moved. And every failure created new momentum. Until one day, the world lit up. Look at athletes. Do you think champions wake up every single day excited to train? No. Some mornings they're exhausted. Some days they don't want to move. But they act anyway. And once they start, the energy comes. Their sweat fuels their fire. Action drives their motivation. Look at writers, entrepreneurs, soldiers, creators. The common denominator isn't endless motivation. It's relentless action. Laziness whispers in your ear. Wait until you feel ready. Don't start until you're inspired. That voice is lying to you. Because the truth is, you'll never feel 100% ready. You'll never feel perfectly motivated. But you don't need to. All you need to do is move. One step. One action. One strike against resistance. And the rest follows. Here's the mindset shift you need. Stop chasing feelings. Start chasing discipline. Feelings are temporary. Discipline is permanent. Weak men let their feelings control them. Strong men let their actions control their feelings. You can either live at the mercy of your mood, or you can create your mood through movement. You choose. So how do you live this truth? Start small. Break the cycle. Pick one thing you've been avoiding, and do 5 minutes of it today. 5 minutes of exercise. 5 minutes of writing. 5 minutes of studying. What happens? The resistance fades. The energy rises. You feel better after starting than you did before. That's proof. Proof that action is the seed of motivation. Every day, you're in a battle. A battle against the weaker version of yourself. The lazy version. The one that says, not today. Maybe tomorrow. That version is killing your dreams. But the disciplined version of you, the one that acts regardless, that's the version that wins. Because when you move forward, even when you don't want to, you kill weakness. You build strength. You create unstoppable momentum. You don't need a motivational speech every morning. You don't need the perfect playlist, or the right weather, or the stars to align. You need to act. You need to move. You need to do. The man who moves without motivation becomes the man everyone else looks up to. Because he's not waiting for permission. He's not waiting for feelings. He's creating his own fire. So the next time you say, I don't feel like it, remember this. That's the moment that matters most. That's the moment that builds your discipline. That's the moment that separates you from the average. Anyone can act when they feel good, but few can act when they don't. And that's what makes them unstoppable. You don't have to climb the mountain today. You don't have to finish the book today. You don't have to run the marathon today. You just have to take the first step today, and then another tomorrow, and another the next day. Step by step, brick by brick, action by action. That's how greatness is built. And along the way, motivation shows up. But not because you waited for it, because you created it. So stop waiting. Stop delaying. Stop lying to yourself that tomorrow will feel different. Move now. Act now. Start now. Because action creates motivation, not the other way round. And if you're truly serious about building a life of discipline and momentum, don't just nod your head and forget this. Prove it. Drop this in the comments. I choose action over excuses. So I know you're not just watching another video for a dopamine hit. You're here to change. You're here to move. You're here to act.